Alright, it's actually been a couple of days since I've touched this, so kind of trying to get back into the groove of things. Alright, so we've got the Ostrotrol on there, and next what I'm going to do for the body, the main part of the body will be this, I'm just going to call it tan. I'm not really 100% sure what it's called. And I'll have black ribbing around that along with some tinsels. So now the tinsels I've chosen, we're going to do a gold embossed tinsel, which for this I'm using the Uni French gold. And you guys should be able to see that. And of course the info for shops to find that will be on in the description. But most of these, you can really just do a quick Google search and it'll come right up with the results for it, or to find it. Alright, so for this design, for how I want this to go, so what I'll do is I'll have the embossed tinsel wrap on it, and I'll have the black just sticking off of it a little bit. I'm going to have it, I'll do it on this side. So by wrapping the black floss on what is currently the near side to us of the tinsel, when you wrap that, it'll actually wind up being on the back side of that tinsel. And then to trim that, to border that, we're going to have some more of this gold. I guess it's kind of like a thread, because it's not really a twist, or it's like a gold floss almost. We want that to be right on the front side of that. There we go. And use our thumbnail to make like a little crease in that embossed tinsel. Now, if anybody's worked with this type of material before, this is very delicate. There is an outer sheathing on that as well, just like the rest of the floss, or just like the other tinsels rather. But you got to be careful with that, because that outer sheathing is extremely delicate and comes apart very easily. You mishandle it just a little bit and pull on it the wrong way, and that's it. It's done. Okay, so now if you also notice, I don't know if you can see that, there's a slight dip from about here to here in the body. So let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use a little bit of underbody material to fix that. I'm just getting these other things out of the way. There we go. And just like we did with the last body segment and doing the underbody itself. And just go through, make sure it's smooth and flat. And we'll just make sure that we add the right amount to the right places. If you add too much in the wrong spot, you wind up with more of those lumps and bumps that show through. In the front section here is where it's more likely to show through, just because you've had so much work up to this point, and you've got your gut right here, which I know right here we're going to see a little bit. I'm just helping that embossed tinsel. That's kind of a thicker metal tinsel, so I'm trying to help that kind of form to the shape of the hook, and that already looks much better. Yep, I don't think we need much more. And then we'll have just a slight gradual taper back to the front. Perfect. I'm going to burnish this really quick. And I'll probably just start tying the floss right onto this. The floss, I'm going to do the bobbin spool. I'm not going to wrap that by hand. And I've already pre-spooled it. Okay, so for that, we will just treat this like tying another thread. And then it's just a matter of doing our nice flat turns, all touching. Making sure that it's nice and even. I may not have mentioned it before. If you're going to be using the bobbin to do this, especially using Japanese silk, make sure you use a ceramic bobbin. Don't use a metal bobbin. The metal bobbins, you know, your generic ones that kind of look like this with the flared tip, they've got a tendency to have burrs that'll chew up that silk. And that'll create a mess that you don't want to really deal with. We'll work our way back forward. We'll do a little bit of burnishing, but this looks like it's going to be very light on the burnishing. It's laid down pretty smooth. Thank you guys, by the way, for all of you that have reached out to me to wish me well. We're doing okay here. Just kind of, I tested negative finally yesterday, so I think we're kind of through the worst of it. But I just wanted to say thank you all. It means the world that you guys, you know, were thoughtful enough to reach out to us. Okay, so we're back here to the front. Let's tie this off. I'm actually just going to go ahead to put a bit farther forward. As you do this, you can actually feel, if you're gentle enough and you pay attention enough. Most of you fishermen, you guys all know that light feeling you can get. You can feel the river bottom on the tip of your rod, and ladies as well. You're all included. I mean, that in the most general way, but you guys, you all know what I'm talking about. And you can feel that river bottom, that sensitivity. You can feel that here as well through the floss, and you can actually tell where the lumps and bumps are, where the hard spots are. And that's why I say when you deal with rayon and then you deal with silk, there's a big difference, and you can always tell. You can definitely tell it. Okay, so now now we're going to take the embossed, and I'm going to follow the same angle that I did with the rear. I want to keep that as uniform as possible. So if we keep that same angle, it should wrap at about the same distance. Give or take a little. You know what? I'm going to wrap the black first. Yeah, let me wrap this black silk first. That does not need to be so long. Alright, so to wrap the black, I'll just do the same thing here. I'm going to make sure that that's flat. It's not twisted at all. And just follow that same curve, or that same angle that the rear section tinsel is at. And if you can follow that angle, you should be able to get the spacing just about right. We'll go ahead and just shorten that up. Okay, now we'll take the embossed, and that should ride right along that black. What I'm trying to do is ride it right along the edge of it. I don't want to cover any of the black. I just want to cover the edge of it to see if maybe we can just clean that edge up a little. Because sometimes those floss wraps aren't exactly perfect. Well, that's just obnoxious. All right. I'm just using my finger as a catch. And that just kept that floss from unwrapping any farther. Alright. Third time's a charm. I hope. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. There we go. All right. And then finally the gold thread. And then we just take that and we're just going to ride that right along the other edge of the black. Okay, I'm happy with that. Put that off. This next step, only ever used once before. I'm not doing much of it, but I'm going to do a jungle cock ring around as like a collar. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm just grab some jungle cock nails and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I had to back up a little bit. The idea I've got here for the jungle cock eyes, I started them up here, but they started, it's too far forward for the amount that I want to do, so I actually am going to have to cover some of this. So I'm going to come back about this far. And I'm also going to start with smaller jungle cock eyes instead of the ones that I was just using. I really think the smaller ones are going to be better. I'll be able to get a few more of them in that space. So let's start again. I haven't decided if I'm going to leave that part in the video yet. Let you guys see all the other part that I did, but I think this part here you'll be able to get a good feel for how it goes. I don't know, we'll see. By the time this comes out, you guys will know whether or not I decided to leave it in. This is already going to be a pretty long video, so... Alright, so for this, the idea take the jungle cock nail and we'll tie it on right in the middle of that black part, in between the two parts of the nail. And then the next one we'll go just on the opposite other side of it, and we'll keep going away from us. And when we do that, each time we're going to back up a half a wrap, so that way we keep them all under the same thread wrap. And then we'll slide them up close to one another and make sure they're even in length. By keeping them all under the same thread wrap, it reduces bulk, so you're not wrapping over and over and over again over the same spot. Again, we'll come on up, hold it in place with our one finger, and then we'll just wiggle this one into position. And move on to the next. Now to prepare them, I'm just taking the eye, hold it right by the very tip of the nail, and all the free fibers you pull away. All of them. You don't want to leave any of these free fibers. The ones that are attached to the nail, leave. And just clip off the stem with all that fuzziness. And then same thing. Now this one moved a little, so we'll have to grab it and pull it forward. Maybe push it forward. I'm going to pull it. No. Come on. Got it. Sorry if I covered that shot. Sometimes sometimes there's only one position I can put my hands to relieve a problem. And as you see now, we're getting a nice continuous flow all the way around. Nice, even, touching jungle cock pieces. Alright, had to pause there for a second. Okay, so I'll just nestle these into place really quick. Make sure they're all even. And then we can start the next layer. Okay. So now I'm just going to do one spiral wrap forward. Snip off those points. And then we'll start with the next layer. And by the way, as far as on the jungle cock neck, I'm taking them from down here, these smaller ones here. I don't typically use a lot of these, though I have been getting into a bit more of the hairwing salmon flies, and I'll start doing some of those on the channel here soon. It's not something that I was very used to, so I kind of kept that. I haven't brought that really up on the channel yet, but I've been getting into those a lot more. So I'll be using more of that smaller size jungle cock, but that's typically where they're coming from for this fly. Now you can use smaller and smaller, you can use larger ones. Depends on, you know, the pattern that you're going for and how much you really want on there. Since I'm not doing, you know, a whole entire front half of the hook on this, I wanted to be able to get, no, that's correct. I wanted to be able to get this in and still have room to do my wing and my lower. Well, I'm not sure what I'm doing with the lower part yet. I know what I want to do with it, but I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, I'll just have to wait a little bit longer and see. Alright, so now on the next one, do the same thing. Only now you're lining them up so that way they almost create a honeycomb pattern. Like that. Well, one thing you want to make sure when you're doing this is that you use the same size jungle cock nails on or about. Otherwise your spacing can wind up being off. And then you wind up with strange gaps, and that can create issues. I'm only going to do the 2 layers of this. And then we'll move on to the throat. That's where the controversy comes in, see? I've been kind of going back and forth with myself over it for probably the last week. These all kind of slipped. I think my thread rolled a little bit. Yep. Alright. I'm just going to add a small amount of wax. Haven't done a whole lot of wax. Just trying to keep the build up on it down. Especially since we've got some big wing parts coming. That main wing is going to have some stuff that needs to get. And those stems are I'm going to have to figure out a way to tie all those in, so that's going to create a lot of need for space. And then of course we've got the throat. Okay, back to these. And room for one more. I love that last one though. And then just the one more nail. There we go. I wonder if I can get one more layer on there. You know what? I think I can. Yeah, I'm going to try for one more layer. I just really like the way this is looking. Oh boy, I don't know. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. I have faith. I actually need to build up a little bit right here. Just a little. A few more nails. When I first started doing this, I've only done it maybe one or two other times, but I started off with large nails thinking, oh, that's what was needed, but I very quickly realized it's much smaller nails that are used. And I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Tom Herr, but he put up some flies that he uses. He's got to be using some very, very tiny, tiny jungle clock nails. He's a pretty fantastic fly tyer. I love seeing his work. I don't believe he's got a YouTube channel though. I think he just has mostly Facebook and Instagram. Which, by the way, I do not have Instagram. I know quite a few of you have asked me about it. I don't have it. I honestly just don't feel like I had time for it. I've never used it, and trying to learn a new platform with YouTube. I'm still trying to figure this out, and I'm kind of trying to do this one at a time. I'm not technologically inclined. Creating channels and accounts and all that kind of stuff. I'm not very good at it, and okay, that's where the wing will mount. Alright, so now for the I don't know if it's very exciting, but for the throat, I had this wild idea that I was going to use Cree hackle, but dry fly hackle. This is where I figured some of you might get a little uncomfortable with me, but I was thinking of using this Cree dry fly hackle because look, the color on it, it just matches so well. And I was thinking of mounting that up under here like this. This is just a rough tie up. But my problem that I'm having is that the way it hangs off the bottom of the fly, I'm not okay with. Like, I would very much like it to have more of a sweeping back effect like this, where it would have almost that sort of a shape. But I'm not going to get that effect with this. With this, it's going to hang. And I don't particularly care for that. If it was going to sweep back more and I can get the tips to kind of stand up like that, not really stand up, but to sweep back and be supported, then I think I would do it. But the more I play with it, and the more I look at it, the more I think about it, the more I don't think it's going to work, and I don't think it's going to look right. Excuse me. Still a little bit hoarse. So yeah, I don't think that that's going to work. I really did like the idea, and I was really hoping that it would come to fruition, but no, I don't think so. I mean, the color is there. The color would be perfect for this. So my plan B was to go with some green parrot down below with a Florican wing over that. So just trying to grab a couple of parrot feathers here for a quick look. So I'm thinking something along those lines. Maybe something more like one of these. Yes, I think I like that. Yep. So that's what we'll do. So I need to find a pair of these, which oh. Alright, so this is the pair that I've got. And I think what they're going to do is sit right up underneath here. So I'll strip away the fluff in the lower part of the feather. Start getting a little better accurate look at it. Now, some of these parrot feathers are a bit thick, so if you look at the rachis right here, sometimes you got to trim that down a little. So what you do is shave up the middle. So we'll just cut a little bit of that away. And that'll make it a little bit easier to tie it in. Okay. Wax up the thread a bit. And right where the tie-in point is here, you could also take a pair of flat nose pliers and you can squeeze that spot a bit too. That'll that'll help flatten that out, and that'll make sure that you've got a nice flat spot and not one that's angled or. But be careful with flat nose pliers though, they can actually wind up cutting the rachis right off the feather. Now what's happening here is the rachis of the feather wants to lay on the hook in at a certain pitch. It wants to lay around the hook at a certain angle, which is creating it to spread open like that. So I think what I need to do is twist these rachises at the tie-in point. I think that'll give me what I'm looking for. And start kind of pushing them together more. think I desperately need a pair of razor scissors. Those copter ones look awfully nice. Any of you guys use them? Let me know in the comments. I've heard really good things about those copter scissors. So you can see what's going on is the feather's got this natural curve to it. So we have to somehow create enough pressure between the two when they're tied in. Right now they're pushing off each other. I don't know that I'm going to be able to achieve what I want to with these. Alright, I got things kind of set back up here. Yeah, I did not like the idea of the Florican on there. I had it on there like this. I had it on there like this. I don't like it. It doesn't sit right. So what I'm going to do is instead try to mirror the wing. Alright, so you see I've got these, like, I don't even know what to call these, flame tip spears or something. But I'm going to put one of those down there. And we'll do appropriate trimming and stuff in just a moment. That's the idea that I'm going to shoot for now. I still think that's going to look really, really nice. And those, these feathers, the red-tipped points, are usually on the back side here of your jungle cock necks. Kind of about where the shoulder would be. Not all jungle cock necks have it. Some guys actually cut the necks off right at the end of where the eyes are, but a lot of jungle cock necks do have it. All right, so I don't want to cover up the body. So I'm going to see if I can tuck that. There we go. Just like that. I'll grab our other one here. This one got a funky tip on it. I don't like it anyway. Okay. Just need a slightly longer one for that front side. I like it to extend all the way to the tip of the parrot feather. The other idea that I had was to get some heron and dye it black and sweep that back under the bottom. And I really did like that idea, but I got those green parrot feathers set, and once they were set, I really didn't want a chance taking them back off or something that I'm not 100% certain I would like. This I do like. And we'll just tuck those in. I already snipped some off the parrot feather. I'm going to try not to snip off too much else from other feathers. All it really does is just locks that feather into place better. Now for the main bundle up top,